In approaching this research paper, it was my task to compile, interpret, and present the history I learned from Jonathan Edwards' world. His life and his era have such a rich history and thus create a complex narrative. Each aspect of his society impacted Jonathan Edwards, and in return, Jonathan Edwards impacted his society and future generations. His thoughts and intellectual musings are still being studied and researched today. Many would contribute America's strong evangelical ties to this man. He was a revolutionary in his own right, as he sought to grow closer to his Creator while figuring out how to live the Christian life to its full purpose and potential. Edwards' influence in the Great Awakening is undeniable, and his thoughts and reflections would change the hearts of people throughout the colonies. He was not the only one, however. Other preachers, such as George Whitefield, would help fan the flames of the Great Awakening so that it was a blazing hot fire burning within the hearts of men. The Great Awakening's revivals hit peaks of high emotional intensity, but eventually they cooled. However, they did leave a strong impression of the ideas of liberty, moral obligation, and individualism. These thoughts would be carried over into the American Revolution. For this research paper, the focus is upon how the Great Awakening sparked the American Revolution. It will also touch on the changes leading up to rebellion and revolution. Many aspects of society were changing in light of what was being conversed during the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening introduced to the common man the possibility to discuss religious and political ideas freely. People began to see that change was something they could ask for. A few of the sources used in this paper focus on various aspects of this pivotal time in history. The first source used will be George M. Marsden's Jonathan Edwards: A Life. This biography colorfully illustrates the intricacies of Edwards' life and worlds. It focuses on Edwards' life, his thoughts, his society, and his contemporaries. This will be an excellent source to use to connect the Great Awakening and the American Revolution, because Marsden illustrates the ideological movement inspired by Edwards in detail. Another source will be from the Library of Congress, titled Religion and the Founding of the American Republic. This is a great source because it showcases various primary sources that reveal the mood of the people of that era. It also organizes the information nicely so as to understand the gradual progression leading towards revolution. The next source is the Great Awakening as Artifact, George Whitefield and the Construction of Intercolonial Revival, 1739 to 1745, by Frank Lambert. Lambert does an excellent job of informing his audience of Whitefield's ministry while showing the ways in which Whitefield broke the barriers of a traditional church clergyman. Whitefield's preaching to anyone who would come and listen sparked an interest in individual conversion. He taught about true conversion over church membership. Another source that will be highlighted here is Discourses of Resistance in the American Revolution by Alex Tuckness. Tuckness highlights the importance of Lockean thought. While the revivals were occurring, people were also exploring some of the ideas presented in another influential movement, the Enlightenment. Locke emphasized the importance of individual rights and liberty, both of which were powerful ideas which helped stir the American people towards revolution. The time of Jonathan Edwards was a time when an intellectual movement was causing great change in the minds of men. The truths presented in the Great Awakening led the way for firm moral foundation in the cause of revolution. Thank you.